2 years. But I have had some things come up this week that I think can be really helpful to all of you. As someone who works in the healing space and, helps people feel better consistently in their body and quickly, I feel like it's very easy for us in this space to say, the body keeps the score, and, trauma is stored in your body. And a lot of people, I don't think, actually understand what that means. So I'm going to give you guys some visceral examples of this week, what I've been going through, because our house was hit by the tornado in May, and we're about to get back into our house in the next few weeks. And so a lot of stuff has been starting to come up. So, if you don't know me, hi, I'm Julia. I am a somatic trauma and anxiety specialist, and I help people heal trauma and complex trauma and anxiety very rapidly and get lasting results. So in May of last year, it was May 16th, my daughter and I were home along with my son and his girlfriend. They were downstairs, and the tornado sirens did not go off. They were delayed. There was a whole issue with that came up later. And so my daughter went out to play with a neighbor girl, and the sky turned green, and I ran out to get her, and she and I were running back into our house. And as soon as we ran in and closed the door, there was the biggest boom I've ever heard in my life, and our living room came down, like 10 feet from us. And so she and I were by the door, and then my son, who's 17, he was by the steps inside the house, and he saw the ceiling come down, and he heard the boom, but he just wasn't as close to it. And so, of course, the three of us are the most sensitive in our house. So we are just more attuned to energy. We are more, attuned to our emotions. And my husband, he is what I like to call Teflon to trauma. It can be very frustrating when you have a partner who is like that, when you have a lot of trauma and your partner doesn't. It can be like, why do I have all of it? But it's actually a really good dynamic for us, because he is just very, very steady, and I'm the one who's like, ah. And so that day we were immediately kicked out of our house by the county. They came by, they condemned our house, and we had to pack and go. And so that was May 16th of 2025. And since then we've been displaced to a rental. So 9 months, it'll be 9 months on Tuesday, I think, next week. And everybody, now that the house is almost done and we can get back into it soon, a couple nights ago, I was having a really, really hard time. And I want you to be aware of something with somatics. Somatics are body-based practices, and they help you, help your system learn that it's safe again, right? And so, if there's tears and stuff, just know that that's, it's a normal response. It's a somatic response to telling the story. So, when all of this happened last year, I should go back, sorry. Okay, so I'm 47. I had tons of trauma growing up. And when I got into my early 40s, my body flipped out. And it was because it was like, you have trauma, you need to heal, like, go figure this stuff out. And so I had anxiety, I had depression, I didn't feel like good in my body. I felt like something was always off. And so, oh my gosh, my neck and back were just so tight. I almost couldn't move my neck from side to side because the tension in my neck was so bad. And it was from carrying all of this emotional weight, right? And so I that's how I found somatics and started healing, and then got trained in all the things. And now this is one of the things that I used with, yay, one of the things that I use with my clients. And so when the tornado hit in May, I had spent so many decades in freeze, and I didn't want to go back there. And so, I fought so hard. I fought my nervous system so hard because I didn't want to go back into freeze. And so that just made everything worse. It compounded everything. My body was trying to do what it naturally needed to do, which was escape, go into freeze, go into flight. And I was like, no, stay present. And that just compounded everything. So I wound up in PTSD again last year and did all the things that I do with my clients to make my way out of it. And I've been feeling really good since about October. And then we've been getting closer and closer and closer and closer to getting back in the house. So this is my whole point of this video. I'm getting to it, I swear. When you experience trauma, it's not here, it's here. And so it doesn't matter how much journaling you do. It doesn't matter how grateful you are. It doesn't matter how much yoga you go to. If you have trauma and it is trapped in your body, things are not going to feel good. Things are not going to feel right. And so 2 nights ago, I started thinking about going back in the house, and complete meltdown. I mean, I was sobbing. I was hysterical for probably, I don't even know, an hour. My husband came back. He's like, oh my God, what's wrong? What's happening? And I was just like, ah. And the reason why is because in my head, I can know that, okay, first of all, the chances of getting hit by a tornado in general, I think are pretty slim. And the chance of it happening twice is probably never going to happen. And our house now is a lot stronger. The way, my husband's an architect, the way that they built the roof this time, he's like, it's a lot stronger. And we can be in the room and we can look up and see that there's no hole anymore, right, in the ceiling. It's all closed up. We have walls, we have ceilings, all of these things. But that doesn't mean that when I walk into my house, that my body feels safe. My body has this like reaction. And my husband wasn't there when it happened. He was at work and he was kind of stuck at work. He couldn't go anywhere. Like, trees were down. He was trying to get across town to get our son from school. And we couldn't get to him because like all the streets, like trees down everywhere. They were like, you can't leave without a parent. I couldn't get to him. Like, it was a whole thing. That day was a whole thing. It was a whole lot of no control. And so I just want you guys to know, when it comes to trauma, there's a couple things that I think are really important to know. One, trauma happens in the body when your nervous system goes into overwhelm. This can be something super small. This can be a big, huge traumatic event like a freaking tornado hitting my house. It's how your nervous system reacts in the moment. So you can have 2 people in the exact same experience. For example, the example I always give is like 2 people in a fender bender, like in the same car, and nothing's wrong with the car. Nobody got injured, but one person ends up with trauma and the other person doesn't. And it's because one person's nervous system couldn't handle what was happening in the moment, and the other person's could. So, when you have events like this, people want you to like get over it, move through it, do all this stuff, like let's go. Your house, it's going to be better. Go back in your house. It's great. It's fixed. Yay, you get to decorate it. Yay, you get to do all this stuff. But for somebody who experienced it, my body just isn't ready yet. And on top of that, when your nervous system is overwhelmed, going back into the house when I know we have to purge everything. Right now, I mean, we have boxes stacked from 3 other rooms. It's like up to here in the hallways. We have to clear out everything. We have to get new furniture. We have to get new things. It's a lot of change, and it's a lot to do. And then we're in this rental and we have to clear out everything in the rental. So it's not like, oh, snap your fingers and you're just there. And so there can be a lot of ups and downs when it comes to trauma. You can feel fantastic. Like, I know I'm not in PTSD anymore. It feels different in my body. But that doesn't mean that I'm still not going to have days, especially as we get back into this house, that there's ups and downs where, ooh, this is weird. Like, we reconfigured some things, some walls and stuff. And like, ooh, we have different furniture, and, you know, we have a different bathroom. And, you know, I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she was right next to me by the door when it hit. And I said to her, I'm like, it's okay if it feels weird that, you know, yes, we're excited to go back into the house and to be in our neighborhood and to be in our space. I said, but it's okay if it feels like something's off. And she was like, yeah, Mom, it does. It, like, she's 12. She's like, yeah, it feels like sad. And our house, I mean, we've been out of it for 9 months. I mean, we're consistently over there doing stuff and trying to help the people who are working on it. And there were months there where I could not really go in the house because it just felt so sad. It was just like this huge, like, you'd open the door and walk in and just like, and so there's going to be ups and downs, but the couple of key things that I want you to know is, when you're in the middle of a long-term trauma, like something like this, there are things that you can do to help your body so you're not just carrying everything around at this massively high level. You can do things to get some of the stress out, to clear some of this stuff out of your body. So this energetic and this emotional weight is not just like holding you, and like the tension and all of that stuff. It doesn't have to be there. Is it going to be healed 100% if you're still dealing with this long term? I think that's really hard to do until you're out of that situation. So for example, I have a client right now who, her job was making her so physically ill, she was peeing blood. Like, the stress. She was doing 3 people's jobs. Yes, she's making good money, but she's like, it's not worth my health. Like she just got put on FMLA because her health was so affected by this job. And I told her, I'm very honest with my clients and people that I'm potentially going to work with, and I'll tell you if I think that I can help you or not. And in her situation, I told her, I'm like, I can help you clear a lot of the stuff out. I can help you start feeling better. I can give you tools that can help along the way as you're dealing with this stuff. But if you're staying in this situation, there's only so much that we can do. Once you're out of it, fuck yeah. 12 weeks, baby. I can get you feeling fucking amazing in 12 weeks. But when you're still sitting in it and you're stuck in it and you can't get away from it, that's where it can help and it can do a lot, but it's just not going to be fully getting it out because you're still in it. You're still sitting in it. So for me, I'm excited to get into the house. I'm excited to start doing some stuff energetically in the house to kind of clear things out. I'm excited to purge stuff. I'm excited to start making it what our new home is going to be. And also fully knowing that say we get in at the end of this month, that it's probably going to take a couple months for me to do the stuff that I know I need to do so I can feel safe again in my space, which that's where it all goes back to with trauma, is not feeling safe. So creating safety first in your body and then around you is really important. So I know that that's what I'm going to be working on. So I know I just kind of rambled today, guys. Sorry. I was going to write down like, oh, I want to talk about this and this and this and this. And then, so here we are. But if anyone has any questions about what that means for trauma to be stored in the body, the biggest difference is I work with a lot, and I'm talking, I think every single one of my clients has been in talk therapy for years. And I don't have anything against talk therapy, but when it comes to trauma specifically, because I specialize in trauma specifically, and I experienced decades of trauma myself, if you're not doing somatics first to help find that safety in your body, talking about it, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. And that's why I would say 99% of the people who work with me notice a massive shift in our work together immediately. They're like, oh my God, my body feels so different. I feel so much better. I was in therapy for 5 years. Why didn't I feel any better from that? And it's because it's all up here. But trauma doesn't live up here. Trauma lives here. It lives in your body. And so there's different things. We do things differently. And so after people work with me, some of them want to go back to therapy to understand more, to get a really good awareness around things, to be able to analyze things more. And then I have other ones that are like, oh my God, I have lived my whole life with this trauma, and it was like running my life. And now I don't feel that way. I don't wake up and think about it. It's like an afterthought, and they don't want anything to do with anything. And now that they're like, oh my God, I feel so good. And so that doesn't mean that life isn't going to life and there's not going to be more ups and downs, but they have tools then that they can use. And so they don't feel like, oh my gosh, this happened and now immediately I have to go run and talk to somebody. They know what to do to help themselves. So just remember, when you experience trauma, whether it's big trauma or small trauma, it lives in your body and not in your brain. Have a great day, guys.